Hi, it's me again. Today we're gonna react to some comments I got on my recent videos because a lot of them are 1. Delusional, and 2. Borderline insane. And it would be a shame to not look at them together and get some good old content out of this. So first and foremost, let's take a look at the channel sub count. We've got 2,714,563 people on the channel right now. I'm giving you guys the insider sneak peek over here, okay? Because you don't have this on Social Blade anymore like you used to in the good old days. We're gonna check back on this at the end of the video. Now let's read some comments, shall we? Starting with the first video that kicked off this entire leftist avalanche, the Great Meltdown, as I like to call it. JK Rowling is so far into her transphobia, she literally started denying Nazi crimes against trans people to diminish their suffering. There's a lot to be upset about here, and I'm gonna start with this one in good faith because yes, I looked this up and there is some truth to the accusation. When someone said that Nazis burnt books about transgenderism, JK Rowling did tweet, "How did you type this out and press send without thinking I should maybe check my source for this because it might have been a fever dream?" And she was in fact wrong. They did apparently burn such books, but I mean, they burnt a lot of books on a lot of topics. So making this just about the trans thing is a bit presumptuous, in my opinion. And I love how this person closes their comment with, "There's a lot to be upset about here." I feel like this pretty much sums up the entire leftist mantra. Did someone mention JK Rowling? Yes. Did they call her a transphobe? No. Oh my god, there's a lot to be upset about here. YouTubers when they fall off.
I am Adolf Hitler.
I feel like this perfectly showcases one of the main reasons why nobody can take these people seriously. It's such a fractured logic. Okay, let's sketch this out. This circle represents actual Nazis, okay? And this circle over here represents someone who just has other priorities in life than to be a so-called trans ally. Now, just because there is a circumstantial overlap of 0.00001% here does not make the two circles equal. It's like saying because you're a 9th cousin 5 times removed to King Charles, you should be the next in line to the throne. It doesn't work that way. You're gonna find connections between any two things if you look hard enough. And leftists do this a lot, apparently. They hyperbolize everything to sound a lot worse than they actually are in reality, just to make their point, which is at the very least disingenuous. So let's go through this again. I made a video about 2 public figures having a public dispute, like I've been doing for years on the channel, by the way. To my mind, this was no different. Okay, JK Rowling and Emma Watson. And I simply did not mention that some people consider one of these two to be a monster, because I myself do not consider her to be the hyperbolic caricature of a monster that they see her as. Then they say, this is no good. You must say you are a trans ally or else. And I'm like, no. Shake my head. Dude, this isn't about politics, it's about human rights. JK Rowling is purposefully trying to take away trans people's rights, all in the name of safety for women and children. This whole video is a huge yikes. And listen, I see a lot of people mentioning that it's about human rights, and it's just not. Again, someone else says, everyone should be treated equally. This isn't politics, it's humanity. Someone else goes, the problem with politicizing everything is that we forget that one side says some people don't deserve to live, while the other opposes that. Who says that they don't deserve to live? The majority of people who are opposing or simply don't want anything to do with the trans cause do not wish death on anyone. They are simply saying, we don't want trans propaganda shoved down our throats and certainly not polluting the brains of our children. Leftists keep saying this is about human rights, but human rights are generally understood as the right to live, the right to have access to food, the right to breathe clean air, drink clean water, the freedom of thought, such as, I don't know, maybe the right to not be forced to declare yourself an ally to a movement you simply don't care that much about. Do you see the hypocrisy here? If you're looking for a trans ally in me, you're not gonna find one. Oh my god, WTF! You cannot be an ally without personally knowing someone of that group? Damn, I can't support a lot of things then. And yeah, that's exactly right. You're onto something here. You don't have to be an ally of everything. I can finally see a couple of neurons moving over there. And by the way, it is my human right to say that I don't have the same interests and priorities as some of you other outspoken people out there. Listen, if somebody were to say, this person who just happens to consider themselves the opposite sex should not have the right to food, water, or to be alive, I will 100% think, yeah, that is wrong. But not because they think they're the opposite sex, because they are a human being first and foremost. That's how human rights work. The same applies to any person who has any thoughts whatsoever. Whatever is in this thought bubble here does not matter to me. You're a man who thinks he's a woman, you have the same rights as me. You're someone obsessed with Pokemon who wants to paint themselves yellow. I am going to personally judge you, but you do have the same rights as me. What you don't have is extra rights. Because this whole movement is, in my opinion, about gaining rights that all the rest of us don't get. What leftists call basic human rights is actually special rights that in some situations even override the rights of the rest of the people. So there's the paradox. If I'm ever in a situation where I have to speak up, if these are the rights that you are being denied, then yes, I will say that that is wrong. But for these rights over here, I will not. This aspect over here is not very complicated. And just because the so-called trans allies consider these to be on the same level as these, that does not mean everyone should too. And by the way, the moment leftists cheered for the conservative guy being killed, you lost me on the human rights argument. Because you can't support human rights for these people, but deny this guy the #1 human right, which is the right to life. Because that's what you're doing when you laugh at somebody dying. You're saying that his life is meaningless. And that's the difference between you guys and myself and others who think along the same lines as me. I believe both of these people deserve the same rights, not more, not less. Someone says you forgot your target audience. And you know what the irony is? I never cultivated a quote-unquote target audience. What I thought was happening on this channel was, speaking my mind, and whoever came around and was interested in what I was saying stuck around and listened to other things that I was saying. That's what I thought I was doing. But apparently everybody knew that my audience included a lot of extremists from the left, and I'm the last one to find out about it. Yikes, yikes, yikes. Saying that leftists tried to bully you into submission shows just where your mind is. What you say is bullying is people attempting to educate you on a topic you clearly have no clue about. How about no? How about I'm a grown adult and I don't care to be quote-unquote educated by random strangers on the internet? Again, human rights. You have no right to force your self-appointed authority to educate me on any topic whatsoever. LOL, hardcore liberals need to stop harassing people expressing their opinions because it radicalizes the people they're annoyed at. I would not be surprised if he would not have made this video if the JK Rowling video didn't get arbitrary harassment for no reason. Oh, 100%. I had no investment in this topic at all. And I think going through this myself, I can see how people get radicalized. I wasn't thinking about any of this, but now I am. I've never heard of this YouTuber before, and yet I still feel disappointed in him. I don't know if this is meant to be ironic, but if this person is actually being honest here, it's just another example of how these people think. And I want nothing to do with you guys. We're gonna have some work ahead of us in the near future because we have to purge a lot of these people from the channel. If there is anyone among you who is capable of understanding and listening to arguments from someone who thinks differently than you, then I welcome them to stay. I don't want everyone to unsubscribe, but these hardcore leftists, you gotta go. Speaking of which, let's take a look at the sub count to see how it's doing. 2,713,435. Judging by the like to dislike ratio on my recent videos, it looks like it's about 50-50. 2.7 million divided by 2, that's 1.35 million. We've got about 1.3 million to shed. Alright, if this is what it takes, let's do this. Oh, and by the way, before I go, just wanted to give a shout out to this guy. He made a donation to the channel. He didn't have to, but this was really nice of you. I appreciate it very much. I was not expecting this at all. And there you have it. I'll see you guys in the next one. And don't worry, I'm gonna keep you updated on that sub count for as long as this goes on. See ya!